All right, guys, so just got back from Louisiana for the weekend, seeing family. Those of you guys that don't know, I'm stationed here in Vicksburg, Mississippi, just across the state line from Louisiana. My family's still around Fort Polk area in Louisiana. Had a good weekend, went to the range with the wife and my son, my youngest son, shot some guns. You know, as you can tell, this pretty much sums up how weird of stuff, different types of stuff I'm into. You got a suppressed 7.62 by 39 rifle and a 1873 Springfield trapdoor. It was used in the French and Indian War. So definitely into different types of stuff. I'm into it, whatever, if it's cool, right? I talked to you guys about I don't have a brand preference. You can see a Cadillac, Chevy, Infinity, but that's just my hunting truck. Got some pretty ridiculous mud tires on there. And then, of course, BMW. It's our second BMW. Got the B7 Alpina as well. Pontiac Trans Am, WS6, another Chevrolet. Got a Corvette I'm picking up next week from paint. And various other cars at 3 different houses. So wherever I can store them, pretty much. Car got problems. Back seats out of here. We're back on the E46 project. Got it semi cleaned up on the outside. Still got some more stuff to iron out with that once I get around to it. There's like random glue all over this car in spots, and it'll scratch off, but what I'm not about to do is come out here and spend 2 days scratching that off. So we're gonna put the heat gun to some of that and some cleaner and get that off. But I want to show you guys the inside of this thing. This video is going to be overall kind of the rest of the visual transformation. Then we're going to do the will it run stuff, which we already know, or we at least think we know. We need a fuel pump. That's on order. That'll be here Monday, which is why the back seat's out of it. But I get this thing cleaned up. I just wanted to give you guys kind of, before I got started here, a visual representation of just how bad. The trunk's still popping, so battery didn't go dead over the weekend, so that's good. Trunk's got some stuff in there. Honestly, kind of okay with the trunk stuff because most of it is tools that were left. So I'm always cool with that. Free tools. So first thing we're going to do, bag up all of this trash out of here and get that out of here, or at least a couple of bags of it, because I got to run into work. I'm going on a work trip tomorrow. I got to go get a rental in Jackson, Mississippi around 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll probably shoot a video of that adventure. I'm going to be going all over Kentucky to some youth Corps of Engineer districts and doing some stuff for work for a few days, and then by the time I get back, we'll have parts to get this thing running. But let's get started on this transformation of this thing, getting it cleaned up. All right, guys, so we got all the trash out. I found the clips that glue that seat backing plate. Basically, it just glues to the backing and it clips over onto the seat. I found the clips down in there, so that just needs to be glued back to where it was glued from the factory. This is underneath dash stuff up there from where the previous owner was trying to fix the ignition that we got fixed. Yeah, so we got all the solid stuff out. Still needs to be vacuumed out, but looking like the car again. I still gotta put the shifter deal back down there where the previous owner was using that to get it in and out of gear before we got it and got the ignition worked out. But I wanted to show you guys this before we get into kind of the rest of vacuuming it out, cleaning it up, shining it up. I'm a big believer in when you buy a car, especially one that's been sitting, possibly has problems, not running like this one is. When you go to clean a car out that's been sitting, everything that you find is evidence. Think of it as like a criminal investigation you're trying to do to see where the car is actually at. You know, what it might need, you know, you don't know, but if you know, what it's definitely just had put on, then maybe you can cross some stuff off the list. So this is what I found so far. Definitely had an owner at some point, The Believer, some gospel songs there, Dave Matthews Band CD, so that dude's definitely on the cool list. Got a side marker light here, which I think goes up towards the front of this thing, but I don't see either one of them up there. I don't know if that was something that they, like I said, I don't know a ton about 3 Series. Maybe somebody can help me out in the comment. Is that something somebody deleted on there and put that plate on? Looks like possibly. That's where I would imagine a light like that would be. Anyway, I got an extra one. And you guys are hanging out around Vicksburg, need a side marker lot for the E46. Then I got into the, nitty gritty. Found the factory jack. It still works. A little rusty, but that was in the back seat, so that was probably just tire change. Kind of uninteresting to us. This one scares me. All right, this is some 16-year-old Randy Garrison stuff right here. All right, when your fuse blows and it keeps blowing over and over again, and you're like, man, I'm gonna fix this. And you take a piece of wire, connect it. Like, all right, it can't blow now. My radio's not gonna stop working, but I might burn the entire car down. So somebody was into that type of stuff at one point, and that's a little scary. But I don't think it's going to be this owner over here that we're going to talk about in a minute. I think this is going to be a more recent owner. This one, coil pack. This is like, I'm not a 3 Series guy, but this is like peak BMW. Coils going out and developing a misfire and, fixing it with coils and plugs and all that stuff. Very familiar there with BMW stuff. Typical BMW airbag recall. Shoot a quick clip of my wreck there too. My previous BMW that saved my life in a wreck. Even though it did save my life, airbags did not go off, and I got hit by an 18-wheeler and pushed about 100-something yards. So common airbag problems with BMW. Somebody applied for a title at some point. Got some registrations here. I'm not going to zoom in too much on that for previous owner's privacy. But it looks like this thing had at least an insurance policy that went up through early 2019, and I couldn't find anything in the car past that date. So in my opinion, that would probably work out timeline-wise, talking to the previous owner about how long possibly it had been setting. So maybe 6, who knows, maybe 7 years. Maybe it, policies are generally pretty long. Maybe it happened early in the policy, but probably at the longest 7 years this thing has been setting, which may help out with the gas. I don't know, 7-year-old gas, it's like 3/4 tank. So once we get our fuel pump in, we'll see if we can strike off some 6-7-year-old gas, and if we can't, I got an electric fuel pump we can pump that out with. Now, not going to give this owner's full name, but at one point, there's a gentleman named Adam. If by some miracle, Adam, if you're watching this, that own this car, drop a comment below. Bro, you are a G and a true BMW owner, because, wow, did Adam have some stuff replaced. Typical vent hoses and all of your typical PCV stuff. We got check fluids, coolant leak somewhere. Keep an eye on the coolant level. Very, very typical for a BMW. Older BMW have coolant problems, but I did find in here we went back and replaced said parts. You got some sensors, new brakes, fan clutch, expansion tank, filter, coolant, new water pump, new oil filter housing kit, fluid top offs. I don't know exactly what all this one encompassed, but this was a decent sized bill. More stuff on it, having a coolant leak. Looks like he took it in a few times before he actually got somebody to work that out, which isn't totally uncommon BMW. So 563, 875. There's like a $1,300 one running around here where there was a bunch of front suspension work done and all new rotors and stuff, and all of that stuff was kind of 13 to late 15 from all the receipts. So yeah, potentially this thing had at least, seems like the early owner, Adam, whoever that dude was definitely taking some really good care of this. And then, at some point it went to somebody and, they trashed it up and put these god-awful rims on here, and that's where we're at today. But got some wheels. I'm looking at some older M3 wheels to go on this. I might trade up, but that'll be later. We got bigger fish to fry and get this thing running right first. But anyway, that's the evidence that I ran across. So that said, we're going to get into the rest of cleaning this thing up. Alright, so we got her all vacuumed out. Still super dusty and dirty, so been looking online, try to find a E46 black leather seat. The other one's in real good shape, but I'm gonna find a seat to replace that. That's pretty much the only interior damage to the car, well, other than gluing these clips back to this and getting that to stick, but that's really nothing. Really dirty back here. I'm gonna get back here and get all this cleaned up. Alright guys, so up in here doing a little cleaning. Got the shifter put back down. Dash is in real good shape. It's not really a big problem for BMWs, more of a GM American vehicle thing, but we got the wood grain up in here, dog. But anyway, one thing I didn't check, since the battery was dead and the ignition wouldn't turn over before and everything, I haven't really got to check a whole lot in the interior. So step one, look at the sunroof. She works good. So that's a plus, Alright, now we got the windows. Got all your controllers, all 4 controllers here, so we're a little slow on the upside, First time it's went up in potentially 7 years, so we'll give her a break there. Getting a dead battery. We're gonna have to come back to that. Battery's going dead here because I had this thing open. Alright, so we're gonna start cleaning these seats now. Alright guys, total recap. Again, this wasn't an Armor All type cleanup. This was just some all-purpose cleaner and get her looking like a car again, but looks way better. I'm gonna drop some air freshener off in here. Not that it smells bad, but just to freshen her up a little bit. But that's pretty much going to be it for this one, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed, channel is crazily growing right now. We went from like 300 subscribers earlier in the week to now I think we're up way over 700. So channel's growing quick. Grill inserts are on the way. They'll be here Monday. Fuel pump's on the way, and then we should be ready to try to fire this thing off and drive it. I got to go on a trip with the Army for work next week, or this week, starting tomorrow. I got to go pick up a rental in Jackson. I'll be in Kentucky all week, checking out some stuff for the Corps of Engineers up there. And then, yeah, that next long weekend, this following weekend for Labor Day, we got a lot of big stuff coming. Picking up my built C3 Corvette, brand new paint. It'll finally be coming to the channel. So my Stingray will be on the channel, and then we'll be getting this thing running and ready to go. But if you guys have subscribed already, I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all the support. If you guys are interested in BMW content, we're going to have this one and my B7 Alpina on the channel. A lot of stuff being done. Looking for comments on what to do with this bad boy. We're going to take M54 NA to the max and see what kind of power we can make. You know, we're going to turbo it. We're going to LS swap it. We're going to small block Chevy swap it. Like, I'm open to whatever, man. I want to do something wild. I want to do something different. And I want to bring you guys along the way. So appreciate the help, guys, with the channel. Randy here from Garrison Speed Shop, out.